Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. No clue. Is there just a drink?
I've seen it, I haven't.
No, I mean John.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this needs to go on.
Yeah.
This needs to go
On
on.
Railroad Park.
Were you as impressed with Richmond as Katie was?
I'm not a Richmond fan, but it's all right.
Yeah, I was amazed to hear that. How disappointing. No.
Huh? Virginia?
Yeah.
Never been. What did you go to Richmond, Virginia before? I never go there.
I went to school in Virginia, college in Virginia, not in Richmond.
Wait, I
It's
thought
near Charlottesville.
All girls school.
Why do you say it like that?
Wait, yeah, what school did you go?
Women's college.
No, what school
Right,
did
that's
you
what
go
it's
to?
called. Sweet
All
Park.
women.
It's in Richmond?
No, it's not. It's like an hour west of Charlottesville.
Is that the one they just shut down?
Woodhilson. No, it didn't.
They almost did.
They almost did, but it didn't
Okay, yeah, that's,
What did they almost shut down?
because the board of directors was.
they wanted boys to
wanted
go there.
Yeah.
No.
You just not identify.
It was a motion led by Tim, her husband, for not being allowed to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It needs to go.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're good to go. Michelle, are we on whatever we're doing,
Hang on.
technology-wise?
There's no easy way to set that.
What was that?
Yeah, do you want to see it? Do you want to hold it?
Well, we can take a picture with it, I guess.
No, do you want to feel it?
We
I
missed
mean,
it
is it,
too.
it's like lead or something, pewter or something?
Well, we should do it when we have more, like all the board here.
I feel like it's a good weapon. We could hurt somebody with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get like stopped trying to get get on a plane with it?
When I was going through security, they found my book bag.
What is this? Right.
So when we had to go through security again, I went,
That's funny.
okay. We are recording.
All right, we're going to call the meeting, the Hammond Downtown Development District, May 25th. Meeting to order.
Frank DiVittorio,
Yes, here.
John Exnicius.
Here.
John Dane Algerian,
Here.
Elizabeth Hollywood,
Here.
Kathy Reagan. Here. Evan Singer, Brian Wong.
All right, we have quorum. Moving on to old business, approval of the April 2022 financial report.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Frank DiVittorio,
Yes.
John Exnicius. Yes. John Dane Algerian,
Yes.
Elizabeth Hollywood,
Yes.
Kathy Reagan,
Yes.
Evan Singer, Brian Wong.
Approval of the minutes from the April 20th, 2022 meeting.
I move we approve the minutes from April 20, 2022.
I'll second.
Elizabeth?
Yep.
Frank DiVittorio,
Yes.
John Exnicius.
Yes.
John Dane Algerian,
Yes.
Elizabeth Hollywood,
Yes.
Kathy Reagan,
Yes.
Evan Singer, Brian Wong.
Approval of the minutes from the April 25th, 2022 meeting. I believe that was the special meeting.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Frank DiVittorio,
Yes.
John Exnicius,
Yes.
John Dane Algerian,
Yes.
Elizabeth Hollywood,
Yes.
Kathy Reagan,
Yes.
Evan Singer, Brian Wong.
A resolution to adopt the budget for the fiscal year 2023.
find the proposed budget for this upcoming fiscal year, which runs July 2022 to June 2023. I'll give you all a chance to maybe look through it. And just let me know if you have any questions.
Do you want to, if there's anything that's changed substantially from the prior budget, you want to bring that to the board's attention?
So we did make some last minute changes. We are anticipating hiring another full-time employee, so you'll see that reflected in salary and wages. In terms of expenditures. Let's see what else here.
It looks like the maintenance, build and grounds was increased a bit from last year. Was there any kind of reason for that? Or we just anticipate more expenses with the park?
We actually significantly decreased it.
Oh, shoot, am I looking the wrong way? Am I looking at the wrong one?
Janitorial, is that?
No, buildings and buildings.
Yeah, in fiscal year 2022, it was 60 grand, which we anticipated spending some
Right.
on the feed and seed, and we've reduced that to 5,000 for this year.
Oh, I see. I was looking at the wrong column.
What is fixed asset?
That's an increase to account for some office furniture that we need since it's been renovated. We are looking at getting some quotes on office furniture. We've got one quote and it was around 10,000. So that's why you see that increase there.
You haven't got any other quotes on that, huh?
We haven't. I did talk to, we would like to have, we were looking to see what a built-in cost would be from the previous contractor or a similar cabinet builder to who they used. So we intend on getting a quote from them, and then we'll likely get another. Chelsea's kind of leading that. I'm not quite sure the amount that would trigger a bid process. But
Did you feel that first quote was high or reasonable or?
We basically were looking for 3 L-shaped desks. I think it included chairs and 2 intern workstations, and may have been a conference table too. I'm not quite sure, but it was basically 1,000 a piece.
Was that custom?
No.
Okay.
And we weren't in love with the options either, which is why we kind of wanted
Good,
to see
yeah,
how
okay.
how the built-ins kind of those kind of come back as, just so that we just have an idea if is the 11 to 10,000 like middle of the road for just standard office furniture? Do we need to look at some other route?
Tell me that again. The chairs were $1,000? What'd you
No,
The entire quote.
say? Oh, the entire quote.
No,
Well, how does that-
$1,000 was basically each workstations.
Okay.
On average. Quote was 10,000.
Well, they're going to have to get more quotes and
Yeah.
do more shopping and,
This furniture's not cheap, I'll tell you.
No,
No,
and it's,
it's
and
not
it's,
cheap.
it is needed. They're in a good-looking space with recycled furniture. And we held a small meeting in there for the events committee and sat in folding chairs and looked at each other. I mean, it just,
Are y'all bidding that out, or how do y'all, I have somebody that knows something out of New Orleans I can refer you to that did our bid out.
We can get a quote from them.
yeah.
Okay.
Is there anyone local who does that kind of stuff?
No, I can ask Jeffrey.
It's
Would probably
usually
know.
gonna be like Staples, it's like a bit, it's usually big.
Okay.
I don't know if you have a,
there was a place that had a
Used to be downtown.
place
Downtown.
downtown, but I don't think they're there
Or
anymore.
they're not. Yeah.
Dixie, office.
Supplies. They're still in a good. I think
They're still
around.
existing, but
They're just
they don't
not-
have a Hammond location. But they were, they
Yeah.
were downtown for a little bit.
I actually have 2 reps that I can give you. I have an owner and a rep
Please,
Okay.
yeah, go for that.
Yeah, send contact info. We'll reach out.
for different companies.
Okay, so does anybody have any other questions about the budget?
I mean, there was a 400% in uniforms and stuff, what's that about? Did y'all say that?
Supplies. It looks
Supply
like.
uniforms,
yeah.
that's what that is? Or,
No, our the fixed assets is where the office furniture is. supplies and uniforms cover some of those costs for the bathrooms that we need. So we need, toilet paper holders, soap dispensers, paper towel holders, trash cans. Yeah, but none of that was included in the bid package for the office renovation, so we desperately need those.
Yeah, and you'll need the supplies to like restock.
Yeah, supplies probably too, so.
All right. Is there any public comment? Come up to the microphone and say your name and address, please. No, I'm
Hey,
sorry,
come-
if you gotta
step
come
up
up
to
to
the
the microphone, if you're gonna,
This podium.
podium,
Yep.
name and address.
Susan Dennis, Ponchatoula, Louisiana.
The
I'm a
street, street address?
Deer Crossing, 39668 Deer Crossing, Ponchatoula. You're talking about the budget for, 2022 to 2023. I don't see anything on the screen that can give us an opportunity to look and see, what's going on for the farmer's market. I know Michelle's really good at doing things like that, so it would give us an opportunity to see. Because, the people who are over here, we're mainly concerned with the farmer's market. We just want to know, y'all have an agenda in front of you. We just got this little piece of paper. So,
Yeah, can you put that
Anyway.
up there? Yeah.
so that's kind of where I am. Thank you, Michelle.
This is gonna take me 1 minute to bring it up.
Last year's budget, just so y'all know, because it might be kind of small, it was 25,000 for the farmer's market, and they have 30,000 proposed budget.
So we project what the market will bring in terms of rents. This fiscal year, we projected 25,000. To date, we've brought in 33,000. So we're just projecting that we'll bring in 30,000 with market rents. Our expense budget for the market, which I'm gonna try to bring it up here, is, hang on, let me just bring it up really quickly. The updated one. Not the updated one. It's gonna take me a minute, sorry.
You want me to
Yeah, the
say what,
rate.
so the proposed budget for this year's, or for the farmer's market expense is 6,000, where previously it was 4,000.
So we don't have a line item of what the farmer's market expense budget is on this budget, but typically that pays for musicians, it pays for crafts, any sort of supplies that we need, trash bags. It pays for our marketing service, which is MailChimp. We don't have, that expense budget line item does not include my time to coordinate the market. So that is general, just kind of operating expenses that we anticipate of the market incurring. Mhm. So if you can see it here, I don't know, it's kind of hard to look at. There's a lot of numbers.
Were there any other public questions
About the budget.
about the budget?
About, proposed.
All right. Does anybody have any motions?
So what do we need to make a resolution to adopt it? Is that
Approve.
Yes.
approve, basically? Okay, I move that we approve the budget for fiscal year 2023.
I'll second.
Frank DiVittorio,
Yes.
John Exnicius,
Yes.
John Daniel Gayran,
Yes.
Elizabeth Hollywood,
Yes.
Cassie Reagan,
Yes.
Evan Singer, Brian Wong.
All right. Moving on to the railroad park. All right. Roy, these are these all the same? These are the same, 3 copies of the same
It's the
thing?
same there. You will sign on the bottom right-hand corner, Frank. Just to give you a quick update, I think everybody's aware that 2 weeks ago, on May 11th, we opened the park. We photographed it. We had a professional photographer photograph it that afternoon and that evening. Saw lots of people come in. At least 30 people took pictures in front of the
Yeah.
mural. So it's kind of fun to watch people, using the park and enjoying it. There's two things I just wanted to bring up to you for consideration. We've had a few issues in the park with skateboards on the stage that has chipped some of the stuff. I just want you to consider maybe some cameras on that end of the park. We don't have any down there. Michelle and I have talked about it. That's something you might want to just at least get a price on from whoever's provided the ones that are on the DDD building. So something for consideration, and maybe some signage that we have. Maybe there's some rules that need to be developed for the park that says no skateboards.
Do they have the little skate things on the stage too?
They do, but they
They're only on the corner.
they only prevent people from grinding down the edge. What they were doing is they were going down the ramp and coming up and jumping off the front of it, so it was chipping that stone. I mean, it's not,
Yeah.
we have extra stones that we can replace at the end of our warranty period if you want. So, that's something we'll discuss then. That's a year from now.
Are there some kind of little, is there anything, any other of those little
We have
anti-skateboarder
them.
things?
They're every 4 feet on
Yeah, like
all
to
the
add
walls.
extra, is that
If
what
Yeah.
you're
it's-
saying?
No, but those were, I know.
You think on the ramp?
Well, I don't know if you can put them on, that's kind of what I'm asking. I'm not sure if you can put them
Along
on the
the
ramp.
edges?
But somewhere, like if they're coming off the front, like
Yeah.
something to
I mean,
jam it before it, because those just stop like grinding
for
down the
grinding
edge.
along the edge. I'm
Yeah.
not a skateboarder, but I think they call
Yeah.
it grinding or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I can look into it and see, but, it's just, we shouldn't have skateboards in there, or they should stay on the ground. And I've seen bike tracks, believe it or not, on top of the seat walls, bicycle tire marks on top of the seat wall. I mean, just, people being people. Anyway, that's just signage, we can look into that if you think that's something.
Yeah, think of an idea of a place where we could put signage. I
Yeah.
mean, I know that will at least, if we say something to them, we can say, hey, look,
Yeah.
there are signs out there saying
And I
no.
thought about that already, John. I thought maybe out at Thomas Street, we could put something, and maybe something, I would have to figure a spot on maybe the northern end of the park. But, I mean, I'll look into that, maybe come up with a design for some signage. I'll work with them to find out what kind of rules they want to apply to the park and that kind of thing.
Is that an ordinance, would that already be, is there an ordinance that would
There's
make
an
it?
ordinance, no skateboarding in the historic district.
So we can state that ordinance number on the rules or something.
In the whole district?
And I specifically do remember it being specifically in the historic district.
So cameras and
Yeah.
signage,
John, does that
we
sound
can,
familiar?
we can look at that down the road, but I think it's something you might want to consider
Skateboarding
doing.
in the historic district?
Just so you know that,
I did not know that.
Find out.
the bronze plaque is up, that was put up last week. It's, if you walk towards the fountain, it's on the left in that area. It's got all your names on it, and everyone who's contributed to the park. Looks very, very nice. So take a look at that when you're out there next Wednesday. 2 items need to be discussed. Pay application number 9. Pay application number 9 is for just, we had a value established for the punch list items that were incomplete. Those items have all been satisfied, and so what this pay application for is for that amount minus retainage of that money. So I think it was about $6,700, and I think, so they're asking for, I think, around $5,000 something. So I've approved that and signed it. That's just for your information, and that's been handed over to Michelle, and she'll process that through the city. And then secondly, at a month ago, when we had our little evening meeting over there after this meeting, where y'all kind of walked through the park, several of you mentioned we needed to dress up that mid-block crossing, so we had the landscape contractor put in a little bit of landscaping to kind of dress it up by the signage, and also attach it to the irrigation. So that was done. The contractor didn't charge us any markup. It was exactly what the landscape contractor charged him, $400. I'm asking y'all to approve that tonight, and then in June, at our June meeting, we should have received our clear lien certificate, and we'll be able to release the retainage for the contractor at the June meeting, assuming we get a good certificate.
I think you will, hopefully.
I mean, there's no problem, but I don't think there will be. And I think in July, we're getting our benches. That was the last we've heard. And so we've got a price from the contractor to install those when they come in. All the bricks are in. They've been checked, every one of them.
Yeah, I can give the update now, or we can
I don't
approve
wanna-
these pay
I don't want to
applications.
get into your
and
thing, but
everything.
it's, so everybody who bought a brick, their brick is out there. That's really quick.
Any questions,
No, we need to approve
Yeah, the change order and the pay app.
Change order.
the pay app and the change order?
Yeah, do the pay
Okay.
app first.
Hold on,
Right.
hold on, is there any other input?
I move that we approve pay application number 9 to Kelly Construction.
Second.
Frank DiVittorio,
Yes.
John Exnicius,
Yes.
John Daniel Gayrian,
Yes.
Elizabeth Hollywood,
Yes.
Cassie Reagan,
Yes.
Evan Singer, Brian Wong.
Okay, if there's no discussion, I move we approve change order number 7 for,
Is it 8? Did I
it
put the
says
wrong number?
7.
I know, I may have put the wrong number on the agenda.
No, it says on the pay app, on the change order, it says
It's on
7.
Oh, it
there.
says 8 on the
Seven,
back.
Number 7.
It's,
Does it?
on the front it
Eight
says
on the
7.
back.
Yeah, it's 7.
The
On the
change
back it
order.
says
I'm
our
sorry,
change
hold on, hold on.
proposal.
On the-
for-
Well, let me just tell you that. The
Hold on.
contractor had, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I wanted you, everybody was talking over you, just go ahead.
The contractor, for some reason, has a different change order numbering system than I had. My number is the actual number. That sheet behind it is just support information from him.
Oh.
So we've had that from the get-go, if you look back at them. Now,
So it's 7.
yes,
Seven.
it is number 7.
All right. And is there any board discussion on that?
Cassie's already made the motion.
Any public? Cassie, you made a motion?
I did.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Frank DiVittorio,
Yes.
John Exnicius.
Yes.
John Daniel Gayrian,
Yes.
Elizabeth Hollywood,
Yes.
Cassie Reagan,
Yes.
Evan Singer, Brian Wong.
The grand opening. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. So our grand opening of the park is scheduled for next Wednesday, June 1st, 5:30 to 8. Chelsea and I are doing planning to make sure everything is up and going for that day. Roy did mention the bricks. One thing we wanted to make sure is that everyone who purchased a brick, their brick was there. So we did personally check all of the bricks to make sure that they were there. We've had a few people call, asking like, I didn't see my brick. They are harder to find than you think they would be. So, but we did personally hand check all of them to ensure that they are all there, and they are. So we just wanted to make sure we had that in place. For the grand opening, we have Will Vance and the Kinfolk playing on the stage. It'll be the inaugural act for our Railroad Park stage. The block of Northwest Railroad between Thomas and Charles will be closed. So we are inviting merchants to come out and do a pop-up shop. Any downtown merchants to come out and be a part of that. It'll be kind of a casual picnic in the park style, so we encourage people to bring lawn chairs and hang out. The restrooms will be open, and hoping that goes well.
It'll be the first test of the,
Yes.
new bathroom system.
We'll have opening remarks starting at 5:30. The mayor will do some opening remarks, and Chelsea and Frank and John Daniel, if you didn't know, you're going to say some opening remarks. And then we also have a representative from the Lieutenant Governor's office coming. We do plan to announce our Great American Main Street Award win, which anyone hasn't seen online or in the paper. We've been in a few different papers. Thank you. This is the actual award. It is here. So we'll be kind of doing our first celebration for this at the grand opening, and are excited to kind of kick it off.
Where will that plaque be displayed?
We got to figure that out.
Can it be displayed in the park, or is that stupid? I mean,
I think it's an option. It certainly is. It appears that it's outdoor safe. I mean, Roy, you're kind of a plaque guy, right? I don't know. Yeah,
right.
it's made for
Add that to your
outdoor.
title, and plaque guy,
Plaque guy.
and plaque guy.
Yeah, we need to figure out where we're going to put it. So we'll figure that out. We'll also we'll have a DDD booth set up so people can reserve a brick. We'll continue with the benches. The pricing is going to be a little bit different because we haven't released pricing yet. We know that we need to ensure that we build in the installation fee since it was built into the previous contract for installing the bricks, and then we have another change order for the benches. So we don't have pricing just quite yet on those things, but we do have reservation forms. So we'll be able to get folks signed up for that, and we'll get them official information once we have it. And then also have some interaction on the history exhibits that we've been working on for those panels. And I think that may be it for the grand opening.
Have we, looked into getting a big Main Street entry
Banner, yes. Chelsea is working on doing the design, and I believe the city's going to help us with purchasing it. We may have a few different sized banners. Maybe one to put at that entrance that's on Railroad by Coleman, and then we may have another one that is a bit smaller that we'll have kind of at the office. We're trying to figure that out.
I'd
Chelsea's kind of working
I'd even
on
do
that.
digital billboards. That way everyone,
Yeah.
are there any on the interstate? Are there any aren't there digital billboards on the
I
interstate?
think they're all in town,
Okay.
I think.
I was gonna say, if there's one on the interstate,
Will
that'd
it
be
be up
great.
before the grand opening is the question, I guess?
We are trying to make that happen.
Okay.
Yes. And then just an update on the clock, what the Rotary is sponsoring, donating. What was that?
I forgot about the clock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the clock has not been shipped yet, and we don't anticipate it being installed before the grand opening. They actually sent a picture. If we want to see what it looks like, I'll pull
Where
it up.
is it? Just curiosity.
Where's it gonna be? Where's
No,
it gonna
like,
live?
no, like, where is it currently?
Oh.
It is currently at the manufacturer, I think in Ohio or something.
Just curious.
Somewhere right here. Massachusetts. Okay. That's it on its side. So we will have a sign there where the clock is going to be installed, just to say like coming soon, and the clock will be installed. We'll also have some additional signage to designate where the benches will be, so that people who purchased a bench can see, that is coming, and just to honor them for that contribution. And we do plan to do a separate bench dedication ceremony once we have those installed.
Is the pedestal for that out there?
Yes. The base is there, the electrical's been ran. For the clock.
This is a PVC pipe.
Yeah.
There's a member of the Rotary Club donated all his time and materials, and we'll install the clock.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's all ready to go, there's a data line in it. So they
Great.
And then they'll be able to adjust the clock timing remotely from inside the building. That's all ready to go.
My niece Stella can find my dad's brick, so if you need any help finding bricks, we can get her
We may
out
need
there.
to have a little brick chauffeur.
Yeah, we can get her a little brick chauffeur.
So I think that's basically everything for the grand opening that we have planned. We want everyone to come out. We do have some public comment if they'd like to come to the podium. Yes, please.
Denise Austin, Monticello Drive in Hammond. Can you all expand about the businesses that are going to be there that night for the opening?
It's downtown merchants. So all of our downtown brick and mortar merchants, we've sent a blast out to them to participate for pop-up shop.
Have any of them committed yet, or,
We have about 6.
okay.
Which are what?
Fleur de Lis Title. I think Mariners is coming. Ashley with the Rind. Wonder Collective. Gifts.
Is there a deadline by which they got to commit to that, or
We're being flexible.
so what is it going to be? Just like a booth, like a hello kind of greeting kind of thing?
Yeah, well, whenever Cassie kind of brought up some concerns of our retail merchants, not having as many opportunities to, events that the DDD is planning, we kind of wanted to build that in to ensure that some of the retail folks and others would have an opportunity to come out and participate.
So are they going to be able to sell stuff, or are they just
They can
doing
sell
kind
stuff.
of
Yeah,
promotion?
they can do promotional stuff. Some of the non-retail are doing promotional stuff, but like Wonder Collective, she's bringing out some of her art. Well, we wanted to have a first come, first serve for our brick and mortar merchants. And truthfully, just with the sake of time, honestly, it wasn't part of something that Chelsea and I had discussed. Given that it is a week from now, I think we will have space, so.
Well, I don't know. I think it's fine. As it is.
I think sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I mean, it's opening the park, given that was the plan, the discussions were had. At this point, I think, given the brick and mortars, an opportunity is just fine. I mean, we don't want it to turn, there's gonna be a lot of people in there. We don't wanna overwhelm anything. We don't wanna limit them. You just said you don't have a deadline for them to actually sign up. So I think as it is right now, we're too far into this. That was the plan. I think we just need to stick to the plan.
You know, because just in case, and a lot of those vendors, will, should pop up outside the doors and such. But, if there's space available, we should have an opportunity also. We also, I don't know, have you been to the farmer's market?
Yes, ma'am. And I've been to it. My brother and my sister-in-law go to it every week. I'm very familiar with the farmer's market.
Thanks to Michelle, it's a really, really busy place.
It is.
If not enough merchants, participating, we should have the option.
Well, it's not, the purpose of it is not to be, a sales thing. It is a celebration. We do want people there celebrating and everything. It's not we're not, and we enjoy the farmer's market. I enjoy the farmer's market. Everybody, I'm sure, up here enjoys the farmer's market. We appreciate the vendors that come to the farmer's market, but this is not to be, the goal of this was not to become a market, so to speak. It was to be a celebration of the park, to introduce everybody to the park, and I don't think we want it to turn into something where it's limited these people, someone, whatever. There was a plan that was put in place. It's been done. I don't think the point is not that we need enough vendors for this. It is to create an opportunity for the bricks and mortar whose taxes helped pay for this park to appreciate them, and to just the public to welcome everybody to the park. And so we don't. It's not, the point of this thing is not to turn it into a festival.
So the first I knew of this opportunity for merchants was when I got the email blast, which we can't participate because I'm not going to be here. So I don't know that there was any discussion about it occurring or how it was going to occur or who was going to be part of it. If there was, I wasn't part of that discussion. So, the farmer's market is a big part of that area. People think of the farmer's market when they think of that area. So I think we should have some discussion. Did y'all know about it? I didn't know about it until I got the email blast.
I saw the email.
I didn't know about it until 5 minutes ago. But
So, I guess the reason why it was opened up is because we didn't actually know if the city would approve the block being closed. And so once they approved the block actually being closed, we're like, well, there's all this space that, we will have some overflow from the park, but it may be an opportune time to, like I said, kind of build on the comment that you had at our last board meeting for brick and mortar businesses. And so
I appreciate that, but it's not enough notice. And in summer, you don't have enough help as it is with everybody being out of school and being on vacation and all of that. So I appreciate the opportunity, but it's unfortunate that I cannot participate in that at all. I can't even participate in the grand opening.
So I'm fine with,
Well, wait a minute, hold on. So are you saying that are you saying that you're concerned about her having the support to do it so that we should add more vendors to it? That doesn't.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I said as a brick and mortar retail business owner, I can't participate in this event.
Well, this is just my thoughts.
And I think if you're going to open it up and you're going to have something and you only have 6 people and only 2 of them are actually retail, then open it up to some other people.
And let me just give my thoughts on that. I do think probably from a place that's used to being brick and mortar and they're not prepared to pop up all the time, they probably do need more notice.
A
So
lot
if we
more
are-
notice.
Yeah, so if we are gonna have kind of this two booths or something.
Well, then just
these
close it.
guys- Well, but it's already been done, but I'm saying if these guys can fill it in, because the more people that are out there, they bring their crowds. So it would actually attract more people to come probably because they already have a following. So I think from that standpoint, it might not be a bad idea if there's room. I don't know, y'all are handling that, but I think that,
I mean, there's.
Where are you gonna
room.
put 'em?
I'm open, they're gonna be on the street.
Yeah,
We can
so
open.
if there's room, I don't see,
I don't have an issue with opening up. I mean, now, my concern would be if we do open it up and then we have an overwhelming amount to where we're having to turn, market participants
you
down.
know how many you can fit?
How do we, yeah. What did,
And how do you
the
choose?
email said
First
there was a certain amount of, like, it was first come, first serve.
We
how
did
many
limit it to
space?
20, just
20.
to ensure that there is enough space, because some of them we know that some of them sometimes request a double booth setup. So we did say 20.
And tell me who's going, okay, so Florida Lee Title, who else? Wonder Collective?
I'm not prepared to answer.
Well,
that question.
okay, then hold on. If you've got a limit to how many you have is 20, send out a notice that says they have until
Yeah.
sometime to commit. And then if it's not full, then send it out to the market.
And then
people.
how do you choose those?
First come, first serve.
First come, first serve. And it is what it is.
Yeah, and
A lot of the people who are at the market, you know, like the vegetable people, they're not gonna come. You know, maybe a couple, but that's about it. But, there's so many other people.
complain if they're selling
who
lemonade.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds I just don't want this to turn into something that's being changed up and that we have basically one
understand that,
staff
yeah.
member and now we got all these people that are trying to juggle and priorities are trying to, while she's trying to finish planning the.
Are any of the vendors, people that supply food or beer or anything that's like something that people would enjoy while they're out there listening to the band? Are we doing any of that?
was Mariners providing food?
We have Ashley with the Rhine. She'll have the snowball truck that she has being part of her business.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a few that will have food, but they haven't signed up, but I have spoken to them.
And we're not
so
doing a beer truck like we do for,
We're not. We have not done a alcohol resolution for this, so we would have to have a resolution. I believe would have to go through city council for the event to
But
sell
you've
alcohol.
got all the downtown restaurants and bars, so
Yeah.
people can go purchase something at a brick and mortar and bring it down and enjoy it.
I did think we were doing a taco truck or something, or food truck or something, but that's all right.
So I will
Yeah.
plan to work on the vendor component tomorrow, so that the information is distributed to the people who need the information.
All right. Grand opening, marketing.
I just wanted to, and for marketing, you'll see an ad that the park is open. We're running this in the July Tangy Lifestyles ad, I
Yeah.
think. So I'm not quite sure if that's out yet, but this is the ad that we're running. We have had a few folks contact us about renting the park, and we're trying to see how we coordinate that with the city, since they do all the park rental coordination and that process.
Can we not be in charge of that 100%?
I mean, I was about to suggest that we turn it over to the city and not tax our staff on with that, but since they already have a system in place, but I don't know.
What I mean is to where we collect the funds for the rentals. I
I
mean,
don't think it's very insignificant what they
I think we'd have to maintain it to be the same rental fee for the other city parks.
Okay.
It's not a profit generator, it's just it's like
No, I'm
$20 or something, I think,
I'm
very
just thinking
nominal.
if we could collect to help with the bathroom, the cover, the bathroom cleaning and those things that are gonna
Isn't
pop
the
up.
city helping us with that already?
Well,
Or not? I know there was some back and forth on that.
No.
Didn't we get some help with that?
What is the question?
The bathrooms, the city is cleaning the bathrooms?
We have a cleaning service, and they clean.
but we're paying out of our pocket for that.
Right. We have not, the cooperative endeavor agreement does not say who will maintain the restrooms or clean the restrooms, so those are all things that we need to figure out.
We tweaked that.
We
There
asked.
was a lot, yeah, there was a back and forth and a lot of
Yeah.
negotiations.
And it didn't end up with something help?
I don't,
We
Hold it.
currently, y'all have a cleaning crew come once a week, right?
Yes.
And, yeah, we're gonna have to undertake the cost of the cleaning. So that's why I'm saying, yeah, if we could
Just when you get a chance, not,
That may be covered in the city contract, though. I mean, I think, I've talked to Lacey in the past about the city contract for renting parks or areas in the park, and it's pretty comprehensive, and it's pretty extensive about what it covers and what it doesn't. So maybe if we are going to let them do it, we can make sure that, you know, there's a janitorial fee for cleaning the restrooms after the event.
just, again, not a high priority on the list, but when you get a chance, can you circulate that cooperative endeavor agreement, just so everybody can see it, remember it? Because like I said, I know this was an issue when we entered into it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought I know it was originally, it was all our problem, but I thought we had shifted some of that back to them.
I think maybe they agreed that if it were a city event, they would help.
I'd
But,
reference it.
but I mean, if we're hosting the grand opening on the 1st, I mean, no, it's going to be our responsibility to, you know, and
Yeah.
anything else going forward, and that's why I'm thinking, you know, it'd be nice that if we were renting it, we could recoup to get a better janitorial service or frequency on
Right.
the bathrooms to help our cost.
Anything else on marketing? We were on the radio today.
We were on the radio today.
Who listened?
Work. I wish I would have known. I would have listened. Sorry.
We nailed it.
We did create a Google listing for the park, which is kind of fun so that people can kind of like search and actually see that the park exists. It does have its own address, which is 106 Northwest Railroad. And
How did you get an address?
that's a good question. The planning department, before the farmer's market moved over to the feed and seed, they said, this is the new farmer's market address, 106 Northwest Railroad, because we'd always use the office address. So, you know, we have the Google listing for the Railroad Park address is 106 Northwest Railroad Avenue, so it kind of makes more sense, too.
Nice. All right. I'm just changing behind my head here. All right. All right. Moving on, DDD building, Tom Pistorius.
So Tom's not here, and that's on me, that he's not here. So I just didn't give him a soon enough notice. But you'll see in your packet a memo, so to speak, that Lane drafted that kind of summarizes the work that has occurred since our last meeting in April. We have installed high pressurized toilets to prevent the sewage from continuing to back up. They have further investigated the line that was previously investigated that has the flapper. So they have removed the flapper, and we have been monitoring this week to ensure that, just to see if there's any backflow issues. We haven't had any with the storm water, you know, that we've had kind of coming through this, through the city's, you know, sewage system, since we've got, you know, rain coming through. So it appears that at this time that it is a feasible fix. That's what they diagnosed where the issue was things backing up at the flapper. So the initial, some of the other theories that they had with where the old line ties in with the new line and a host of other things, they've landed on the flapper being the diagnosed issue and have done the plumber's recommendation to remedy that.
For the grand opening, I don't know how many people we're expecting or not, and I assume, well, I don't know. Let me just ask the question. Were we planning on having any porta potties there or not?
No,
Because I'm wondering if
we should.
we should, but I would actually like to have them probably locked, because I really would like to see how this system, you know, it would be a good test for it, you know, with some load, but I don't, poor choice of words maybe, but I would like to have a contingency in case it doesn't work out.
You may want to get restrooms as just a backup.
But let's keep them locked unless we have to open them, because I really would rather, like,
A lot of extra work.
well, I don't know. I mean, what do y'all think? I mean, I don't want to end up, I mean, we know we have an issue, or, well, we're not an issue. We hope it's fixed, but
I mean, I think we need to put pressure on them to fix the issue before Wednesday.
Well,
mean, it's-
they think it's fixed.
Well, they think
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
fixed, right.
We're not gonna know, this is gonna be like the first test to see if it's
Can,
really.
can we all go out there on a date?
This is what I think.
Saturday?
I mean, I hate to say this, if people need to go, they'll find a way or they'll leave, and that's fine. And there's enough businesses, maybe they'll go there and pick up a hamburger while they're peeing, you know?
I think they've complained. I think that was what I was thinking. I think some of the businesses have
Yeah,
complained about the people.
I just don't think we can lock the, I don't, that, this is part of the whole project. I don't think.
I think he's meaning lock the porta potties.
Yeah, I mean, lock the porta potties and I was thinking, have the porta potties out there in case they're needed, because the toilets fail, but.
Oh, I see.
Not
I-
let people use them because we want to load up the,
Yeah. And look, it doesn't hurt to have extra bathrooms anyway. I'd say just leave porta potties out there, give them the option of that. Maybe have them set out in the street or near the post office. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's fine, we can.
Because then you need to figure out where you're going to put them. We do not want it, you don't want it in a park.
yeah, I don't know, like I said, I don't know whether that's the right answer or not. I think we are a little concerned whether the problem is fixed or not, and the businesses have complained about it. I didn't want to be in a situation where
Yeah.
we did something and it didn't work, and we're here.
Maybe put them on the stage over where they made them, the skate mark.
That sounds like a great idea.
All right.
But they have worked very diligently to try to remedy the issue, so, they've been at the office for many hours, and, it's hard for me to, be, as confident in the solution, but just simply because we haven't seen the use that really for these public restrooms, but, I know that they've worked to try to remedy it to the best of their knowledge and their professional, so.
All right. Presentation of revenues and expenses for the feed and seed property.
So, we do not have a presentation. We simply have, in your packet, what you'll see is the estimate that I received from Kelly Construction to replace the roof, and improve the exterior, and the entire project costs, which you'll see documented there. I guess as an update for the board, I will bring this document up. When we initially met when we met in April, we did discuss exploring, the revenues and expenses for the property within our current lease agreement. And so this is why I pursued getting this quote for the improvements required for the structure. However, some additional information has come to light with respect to the feed and seed. I did talk to the mayor today, and he spoke to Fritz this morning, really asking to see, if is a sale possible and feasible, and really what his intentions are for the property. And he didn't have, really nothing new that we didn't know. We know that our purchase agreement didn't go through. We didn't get a counter offer, really. Nothing that we would be able to do, at least, because we cannot pay over the appraised value. And ultimately, the mayor just said that he is immovable to, really wanting to invest anything in the property or work with us on a sale. And I do believe that Frank also spoke with Fritz today and perhaps has some updates, and maybe John Exnicius does as well.
You want to go first?
There you go.
Well, Elsbeth and I actually spoke with him, and he was very polite, very courteous, expressed how his desire to support the DDD and how he, had a lot of good things to say about just everything, and was very gracious, very supportive, positive. But at the end of the day, I think it boiled down to the fact that, he realizes that it's an asset that's valuable, both, financially and, probably sentimentally.
Sentimentally, yeah.
And, he could basically name any price he wants on it, and he would be able to get it. And so having to deal with the fact that for us to buy it, it's gonna have to appraise for a number, he knows basically whatever number that is, he can get more for it.
And did he give you a number that's the more?
No.
Me either.
And, but it's, you know, it's essentially priceless. I mean, as true as that definition could be, I mean, it is a acre and a half, how much is it? You know,
A little
it's
under
an
acre.
little under
acre.
yeah, you know, it's an acre in downtown Hammond that, you know, there's very few of those. So anyway, he would, and regardless of what we think about that, that's his opinion of it, and, you know, whether we agree or not. So the point being is that he's not gonna sell it to us. You know, he doesn't think he can really, for what he thinks he can get for it, and, you know, doesn't wanna go through the time, and I understand. I mean, it's a process. He doesn't have to be involved in it. We shouldn't expect him to be involved in it if he's told us he doesn't want to. He's given us a lease and, you know, a good price on it. We used it for the time. We needed it for the farmer's market. I think he's done, you know, more than any obligation he had to do. And with that in mind and realizing where it is, I mean, I think it's to, you know, he's come to the conclusion that, given the restrictions that apply to our transaction, that it's just not feasible, and that he has no intention of going down that road with us.
And then to my understanding, just to,
You talk to the mic.
to my understanding, just to clarify, as far as a, as the DDD putting money into a private owner's property, we are limited in that as well, correct?
I did seek Attorney General opinion on the Cabela's test with respect to our lease agreement and the amount of funds based upon this quote that we would have to invest. And we would have to ensure that our contribution to the property would not be what's called overly gratuitous. And with that in mind, we'd have to either have a lease term that is longer, or you know, we'd have to, I mean, we have some arrangement that lowers the amount of the lease payments that we do have. So it would require some negotiation on his part with us to have a lease that is different from the one that we have now. So.
But also, it would require for him to be a part in any type of repairs. He'd have to put a certain amount towards that, as opposed to us, or?
So really the way you can make the most feasible, you know, the property is eligible for historic tax credits. So in order to really, I guess, maximize all the funds that are available for this, since he's the owner, those would ultimately go to him, which on a price tag that is $999,000. He could get up to 20% of state for that. So 20% of that is
200,000, call it.
200,000.
Yeah.
So, you know, we would have to make a very appealing pitch to him for if he would not receive that until the work is done. So, it is disheartening for me to, you know, have to be at this point to say that everything is working against this project, or where the way we're structured and as a public agency, since he's not interested in developing the property and he's not interested in, you know, putting any money into the building itself, that continues to be a liability. As a public agency, we're, you know, kind of tied with our hands behind our back to really do what's required to make it no longer a liability.
Well, and I don't think anything is working against it. I mean, it's, you know, as I know, I've kind of taken, you know, I'm sure I'm being, you know, labeled as kind of against the thing. And I'm sure there, you know, it sounds like there's things being put on the landowner, but regardless, I would love to see this happen. I'm just realistic in terms of understanding what the rules are, what the facts are, and when you mix these together, there's just not a situation or a scenario that works out. It's what I mean, like I said, I mean, I've been to it since the farmer's market's been over there. I missed out on the dinner thing that y'all did out there that I wanted to go to, would have loved to have gotten to go to. I see the potential. I see the benefit. I would love to see that happen. It's just not here. And my position is, my point I've always made is let's take this energy and move it to somewhere that it's feasible to actually bring to fruition.
Well, and it may be something that's not this. There's not too many 1 point whatever acres that are walkable to downtown. So that's the issue here. I'm just going to read I just made a little written statement just to get all my thoughts out about this situation because I've been very engrossed in it and in conversations with Fritz and Michelle, and I visit the farmer's market very often. So I'm just going to make my little statement. That way I don't get any of my thoughts missing. But I just want to say that I'm very honored to have been able to witness our town receive recognition on national level, the award for Great American Main Street in competition with over 1,600 applicants. This award is attributed to the hard work of our DDD staff, who's often put in extra hours and efforts that exceed their job descriptions. It also includes our volunteer board members from various backgrounds who donated their time and expertise in order to continue the forward momentum for the DDD. There are many generations of Hammond families who have played an intricate role in laying the foundation for the success and the growth that we are seeing today. And this success has attracted new families to relocate here, work here, and spend their money here. This recognition holds us to a new standard and charges our community with the obligation to not just hold on to the status quo, however, to preserve what makes our town special and improve where we're lacking. Today, we're going to vote likely on whether to cancel the lease for the Hammond's historic Feed and Seed. We had high hopes that this location would become a downtown attraction and large contributor to our economic development. We have doubled the size of our farmers market, had residents participate in building a community garden, a successful farm-to-table event, as well as community events that have promoted the arts. Our future plans included use of the building for a long-term tenant such as a brewery and a flexible space to hold community events, as well as starting point for a future possible trailhead. Unfortunately, after an in-depth assessment of the building and cost to have it rehabbed in a condition to be inhabited by a tenant, we were unable to move forward without either purchasing or having the owner invest in its rehabilitation as a joint effort. The owner has expressed they're only willing to sell above market appraised value, which is not possible for the DDD. They also do not have interest in making repairs to the building that will allow for the DDD to continue with the current plans. This has been a learning experience for me, not only as a board member, but as a resident and taxpayer. There are many properties within the DDD and historic district that are owned by the same owners and often for generations. This is the epitome of the American dream through the hard work that they have accomplished. With these accomplishments, they have a great opportunity to act as leaders in the community that their families have been part of for generations. It is also their obligation to maintain their properties that are part of the historic fabric of this town. The decisions to hold on to property and neglect buildings, allowing them to deteriorate, affects the beauty, uniqueness, and memories that make this town a special place where business owners and residents make their livelihoods and raise their families. This is an issue that affects the community and is vital to be addressed by the city, the Historic Commission, DDD, and the building owners. We are better and we can do better. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you, John.
I have one concern, and y'all may have already talked about it, or somebody may have, I don't know. Our lease, we were required to have insurance on the building. And our insurance agent misread it or misunderstood it, and we didn't have the correct insurance, right?
At the time of the storm.
At the time of the storm. So I think we need to make sure if we say we're walking away from it, that we're not held to those repairs. We don't want to put all that money in it, and then after we've said we're walking away, or, you know, after we say we're walking away, get hit with, well, you have to put it back in the condition it was when you had it, when you first got it. I'm just saying.
I don't see an issue in that.
It's something that came up, and I hope I'm wrong. It's just something that came to me that could happen.
So, at the time when insurance was secured on the property, John Daniel may be able to speak to it a bit more, but if it comes down to what our lease says, it does say improvements.
And the insurance side of that is the money that we, again, on the insurance side, I'm reading betterments and improvements is what we put in to better and improve the interior of the structure that's owned by a different individual. Now, yeah,
But the owner had a different definition of that, right?
100%. And he had an insurance policy in place during the storm and,
It was covered,
yeah.
so it's done.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I wanted to throw it out there, so I wouldn't want
Right,
to.
Elspeth, do you see any?
No, all I see is risk and staying in the lease.
Right,
It's
that's what I
everywhere.
felt.
Just
I
red
agree.
bells, red flags, and I want to run and hide.
Well, I'm going to make a motion to end the lease, is my motion.
Second.
That's 6 months.
Yeah, per the term of the lease, terms of the lease. I'll second it.
Frank DiVittorio,
Yes.
John Exnicius,
Yes.
John Daniel Gurian,
Yes.
Elspeth Hollywood,
Yes.
Cassie Reagan,
Yes.
Evan Singer, Brian Wong.
All right.
Well, I do want to say with that information, when I spoke to the mayor today, I did raise the concern about the operation of the farmers market and trying to find a location that meets the needs for the market, that allows it to be a place that up and coming small businesses can get their start and reach our community. So with that, he did say that he would be supportive in working with us to adapt the Railroad Park area to support the farmers market, whether that be shutting down the block of Northwest Railroad between Thomas and Charles.
Yes.
So
I
we're kind of doing that trial run next week once we do the grand opening. But he was very supportive in working with us to ensure that the market has a home, that we do have space to continue to grow, to allow all of our active vendors to come out and participate, and as well as hopefully, having space to continue to be a place for people to start their small businesses.
Very great to hear.
Wonderful. That's great.
Do you have any public comment?
Just want to thank you for what you've been trying to do for us. Michelle's done an excellent job, she really has. And we thank you for having her.
We agree.
We agree, yeah.
We agree very much.
Hi, Alicia Norman, Purple Elephant Bath and Body, Legia Place, Hammond. My daughter Carmen and I run a small business, the Purple Elephant. That was my concern. Where do we land after the 6 months? Because we are on year 2 in our business, and a year and a half with the Hammond Farmers Market. So we appreciate the market. We love the growth that we've had. We appreciate all of our customers. We love downtown Hammond. We were featured in the video.
Yeah.
Well,
Right about that.
Yeah.
But that's my question. The railroad park was designed for us to go back to. We came here almost a year ago when this project first started, and to give our input to back the DDD. So that was my only concern. Where do we go?
well, I don't know if anybody has a absolute answer to that question, but you do have there's 6 determination will take 6 months. So we've got 6 months of the feed and seed center.
So
We-
certainly a relocation strategy similar to how we did whenever we moved from, our old location to the feed and seed. It didn't happen overnight. It took a couple of weeks, a month and a half, I think, for us to really plan that out and make sure that everyone was informed. So the Farmers Market Committee is meeting next Tuesday. All vendors will get notification of that in a newsletter tomorrow. So that's where we'll start having those initial conversations to see what the strategy is to move back and, all of the things that come with moving, like storage and loading zones
Space.
and parking and all those types of things. We don't have answers for those questions today, but all of it will come soon.
And
I'm sorry.
no, and when, as we were talking about, there is always the default back to the railroad park, and as Michelle was saying, that the mayor and the city are we had talked about closing that road previously, and that's going to apparently have a trial run also. And so we're exploring, and we've got time. It's not something that's happening overnight. So we've got time to put a lot of thought into that and try to find the best option for the farmer market vendors, for the city, for the DDD, for everybody. So that's the process that will begin and conclude at some point. So I don't know. We don't have, you're not getting a definite answer today, but like I said, we've got 6 months.
It's an open-ended question.
Yeah.
Open-ended question. I know that. I appreciate your comment also because the next Wednesday would be a trial run for that purpose if you were allowed to participate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Were you talking about closing it just for the Wednesday, or was there plans to close it for a Saturday farmer's market too?
No, when I talked to the mayor today, basically the closing on Wednesday is
Wednesday would be
a
a
trial
Okay.
run
Yeah.
for, closing on Saturdays. Traffic conditions
See
are
the traffic.
different.
Right.
Just kind of seeing how it all works with the city, how many barricades do we need, how long does it take to close it, just those types of
I
factors.
mean, yeah, and then getting people in and out, yeah.
Yeah, because there's still a few parking spots on that street, aren't there?
That's going to be your concern, is clearing parking.
Yeah, so we'll have to, there's going to be work in any location that the market is at, and so, I know that. And with respect to closing the street, if the city is willing to help us, at least with barricades, we can do parking closures. And really, it's a biggest concern for me to have, a place where the market continues to be a place for our small, up and coming businesses to get started, to maybe even move to a brick and mortar, and then 2, a location that is sustainable and meets all the needs to successfully operate a market. So certainly a sustainable location is of utmost importance. So we'd have to create procedures to make sure that that is.
And having the space, like John Nocius has pointed out several times, that we had over there at the Feed and Seed store.
If there can be some permanent signage in the parking lot that says you can't park on,
After midnight
from this
on-
time to this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's going to.
I mean, that would be very
That's
helpful,
going
I
to
would
be
imagine.
required.
I think once, if it gets back there on a permanent basis, where
You
it's a
will
routine.
start to see it, yeah, but
Right.
you
Yeah.
worry about the crowds that are eating downtown or going out downtown that
Yeah, but
park
you have to have
along the.
signs,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're going to have signs that say no parking between midnight Saturday
Yeah.
morning and noon Saturday.
Right.
Or whatever, I mean,
Had to deal with many cars in wherever it was we were in, and we just kind of.
well, yeah, what you don't.
Goose around.
Yeah, no, but yeah, what you don't want is you don't want to open it up to you don't want the street closed off and open to public and people having their cars there left overnight, walking out and needing to get in their car. Now, I mean, you could put your foot down and say, I'm sorry, you can't move it until this is over with, but,
That's usually
yeah.
what we do,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, I think if you had a sign that said no parking between 12:01 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
Right.
Yeah. My Rotary Club hosted a chili cook-off the night after the Hammond Mardi Gras parade, and we barricaded off our sections where we had tents set up, and people parked, believe it or not, underneath the tents.
Wow.
And we moved barricades, parked underneath the tents, and then
That's bizarre.
left them there basically throughout. We had to operate
Around the-
selling
yeah.
water and food around their vehicles.
I think,
But so it's not fun, and really it's not fun for either party. So signage would work, and I think people, if it became a permanent, I think yes, it might take a couple weeks, but
yeah.
but you do worry about those who come from out of town who want to go eat at
Yeah.
one of our local restaurants or go to a bar and then need a ride home and leave their car there. So, but a proper sign will.
And that'll let you tow it, like you said. All right.
Before we move on from Feed and Seed, there's just something I would like to say. I came on full time really for the Feed and Seed Revitalization Initiative, and I tend to attach myself to projects, and it's been just an honor to be able to do it, and I may get emotional. And it probably sounds really silly. But as a person who, I'm from Folsom originally, and I moved to Hammond to find a home. And to be able to see such a blossoming of a home take place at the Feed and Seed, and to really build a family with all the vendors and customers there has been, just an honor to be able to lead that type of work and to be involved in that type of work. And I'm so thankful to be able to do it. And so with all of that being said, I just hope that moving forward with the DDD that we continue to do this type of work and to really act on those gut feelings that we know that are really worth our time and energy, that are exhausting, and creating and just continuing to build a place for the next 40 years that we know that, my child or other people's children, your grandchildren are able to be proud to call Hammond home. So I hope that we do take the energy of the Feed and Seed and we do find another property or engage in this work again, and that it's not over. It has been a really big learning experience on all levels. So with that, that's really all I have to say as staff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everyone has enjoyed working with you and have seen your effort and what has gone, and I agree 100% with you. I mean, we had a great idea, and unfortunately, it's out of all of our control.
And I think we can use this, I think your care, Michelle, and is very inspirational, and I think we can use this momentum to move forward and do something
Yeah.
really great with it. It just might be a little bit of
100%.
luck.
And I will say this, while we got some of the farmer market vendors here, y'all have expressed interest in the whole farmers market in general. And we've talked about, I've said before, like, what about, let's just find another place for sale and whatever. And John and many others have pointed out, well, Frank, where's it at? Tell us where it is. Where is this utopia? Where's this unicorn at? And, so y'all are concerned about where it is and want input in it. Well, help us find the unicorn. Y'all are down. Well, not right now. I don't mean like literally help us a second. But
Yeah.
but help us find the unicorn.
Yeah.
There's going to be a farmers market committee meeting sometime soon, and y'all know how to get in touch with Michelle and whatnot. So help us find the unicorn. If you find the unicorn and it's not for sale, talk to the unicorn's owner and see if they'll sell it to us. But and get the right people in touch, get us in touch with it. So that's something else y'all can do if y'all want to help.
We can move on.
All right. Design committee report.
Okay, there was a design committee meeting. I wasn't there, but there was only one topic of discussion, and that was the facade grant that you have in your packet for 300 East Thomas. So the packet was presented, and the committee reviewed it. The owner was asking for a $2,000 grant, which means there would had to have been $4,000 of eligible expenses. There were only $3,400 of eligible expenses because parking and striping and plumbing and things like that are not covered under the facade grant. So the design committee has recommended a $1,700 grant for the owner. And Michelle has a breakdown at the beginning of that section that shows those numbers I just gave you. And then the owner has all the backup in here for what he spent.
What is 300 East Thomas?
The probation office, isn't it?
Across the street from the
City,
Columbia
yeah.
Theater and
Yeah, it's on the corner of Cherry,
Thomas and Cherry.
Thomas and Cherry, yeah.
it's right next to his chiropractic office.
Mhm. Do y'all have discussion about this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Frank DiVittorio. Should we specify the motion?
Do what?
Should we specify the motion?
I'm making a motion to approve the facade grant at 300 East Thomas Street
For the 1,700 though.
for the 1,700.
Okay. First by John Gianna Garen, second by Cassie Reagan.
Yes.
Frank DiVittorio,
Yes.
John Exnicius,
Yes.
John Gianna Garen,
Yes.
Elspeth Hollywood,
Yes.
Cassie Reagan,
Yes.
Evan Singer, Brian Wong.
That was it for design committee.
I think that was included.
All right. Events committee report.
All right, we got together earlier on in the month to discuss the big up-and-coming event of Hot August Night. What's that?
I was like, Hot August night. I'm like, oh, I guess it is June. But, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and to be honest, with
Sneaking up.
we may be a little behind. Obviously, we've had a lot going on, Chelsea being out. So we're trying to secure a headliner. We might be making some changes. My main thing that I said we need to do is actually incorporate Railroad Park in the event, whether it be a VIP area, something like that, to where, it's something we can bring in some extra funds, especially if we were putting it towards, in the past, the past two music acts have been, higher up in cost due to their popularity. So, that's basically it. As it is every year, we need volunteers. If there's someone, a group that anyone could recommend, that's where our biggest concern is, and our biggest need, I should say.
Like chilling with, the chamber doesn't do chilling with, that was a Hot August night thing, wasn't it? Chilling with the
Used to
chamber?
be, it's
It
not
used to be, it's
anymore.
not
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
Doing like something like that in the railroad park?
Either that or, for Wayne Tubes, we did sell a VIP experience where you got to take pictures. You had a direct line or direct access to the water booth or to the beer booth. You had your own seating, you're covered, and they had fans. My idea was, look, if we can rope it off, include some free drinks, you have bathrooms that are air conditioned, maybe a meet and greet of some sort that, depending on who the music act is, someone, I'd pay to have that empty space to get out of the crowd and still enjoy whoever it is playing. We're trying to incorporate, obviously, maybe incorporate La Carreta to help, and if we could put a stage on that area, because logistically, you would have to, it would work out if you could walk across the railroad tracks from viewing inside the parking area in front of Topla, looking towards the north where a stage would be. That would ideally work out. So there's just some logistics behind it, but
We're still in the preliminary stages. We've got to hunker down over the next couple of weeks and really get some things out there.
Make sure we get the alcohol permit submitted to the.
Of course. Well, I mentioned this today on the radio, but once people realize that Hot August Night is always the last Friday of August, it's less of a surprise. But for people who want to save the date, it is Friday, August. Well, I don't even know it. Friday, August 26th. So, hoping no other storms come through to come and take that away from us. But we are gonna, once we get past the grand opening, Chelsea and I are gonna be really focusing on that to bring back the event and make it, really the great event that we have not had in 2 years. So.
All right. Anything else, John Daniel?
That's not that bad. 10 grand. That's it.
All right. Staff reports, Director.
Yeah, so I since Chelsea's not here, she obviously everyone knows she's, I don't want to say her issue, but she's not here. And so she's I'm just going to deliver a staff report on both of our behalf. As I mentioned, Hammond is the 2022 GAMSA Award winner, Great American Main Street This is the plaque here. If you want to take a picture with it, that could be kind of cute. So we are planning to really celebrate this all year long. I'll bring up the page on our website. We have a lot of communicating to do over the next couple of weeks. We're aware that there's just a lot coming down the pipeline. So we have developed a schedule of events for the rest of the year, which has opportunities where we plan on celebrating. I'm not going to go too in depth to these, but we're going to be putting all the information out for all these subsequent events very soon. And we'll build in those celebrations as appropriate. Also at the conference, Chelsea earned her Main Street America Revitalization Professional Credential. So it was just a really great conference for Hammond, and we took a lot of really good wins home. So check out this webpage that we have on our page. We have a GAMSA tab to just kind of really make sure people know, and we'll be working to really blast out our GAMSA win this year. It's unfortunate they give us the award midway through the year, but we may extend that into 2023 just to really cover our bases there. I already mentioned Railroad Park, that we've got the website updated for brick and bench sales. The history exhibit work group did meet today, and we are working with a Southeastern history student to kind of help us draft up and do fact checking and make sure all the narratives are good. It's still in a preliminary state, but once we have something that we can kind of bring to the table and do some public input, we plan to do that kind of over the summer. And we still have Jessica Shirey and Ryan Falk with the Historic District and Shauna Seals with the Historic District involved. So we actually had a meeting last month where I got to meet Howard Nichols, so he was present, and just really nice to hear him speak about history in Hammond. So I did hyperlink to our spreadsheet of the stuff that we're working on if you want to look at it. It's in your the hyperlink packet in your email. For the farmers market, we are kicking off Vouchers for Veggies program, which is pretty much a referral system for primary care physicians and children with chronic health conditions. They get fresh food vouchers for produce, which is kind of like a produce prescription that their doctor gives to them if they're at risk for diabetes, or if they there's a certain scale that they do. But it's a program out of San Francisco, and at this point, it's kind of a soft sort of rollout that they're doing. Just kind of depends on how the program is kind of works in the clinics and how it kind of comes out to our market. But we'll be an authorized retailer for that program, kind of building on our healthy food financing options to ensure that our market is open to, more populations, and ensuring that food access is something that we're kind of working on with that. The SLU students sent back their summary report, and that will be shared with the Farmers Market Committee at our meeting next week. Honestly, I have not had too much time to go through it, but it is linked in your packet if you want to take a look at it. And our next meeting for the Farmers Market Committee is next Tuesday, the 31st at 5:30 in this room. I don't know if you remember, but we did have a grant for an outdoor kitchen. So no worries. I saw kind of eyes go up. So all the supplies is movable, and we may have to figure out storage for it at some point in time. But if we continue to do ham and table and those types of events, this is, and also healthy food demonstrations with the market, it's good that the equipment is movable and we're able to use it. So we also have some fans in there. We'll get some fans.
Is that mountable to a trailer? Can we put it on a trailer?
So it's all. I worked with Ryan Hagler to kind of come up with the list. So it's not on a trailer. It's all individual pieces of, it's tables and like grills, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I guess we'll just kind of figure out what to do with it once we get it. But it's a really great opportunity for us, and working with LSU Ag Center has been a really great partner for us too, as we kind of work with the market and try to expand that out. And then I'm going to take some time off.
How dare you?
So I just wanted to put that in here. July 4th through the 18th. is gonna be my time off. Yes.
All right.
So,
Thank you, Michelle. All right, Assistant Director Evaluation, executive session may be called.
this was all on you.
Yep.
You wanted to add this.
Go ahead. Were you gonna say
Make the
something?
motion
Yeah, you can
to
make
go
the
into, yeah, I'll make a motion that we go into executive session.
I'll second that.
Frank DiVittorio,
Yes?
John Exnicius,
Yes.
John Daniel Garion,
Yes.
Elizabeth Hollywood,
Yes.
Cassie Reagan,
Yes.
Evan Singer, Brian Wong. Okay, pause that. I'll tell him.
All right, thank you. Thank y'all.